Well, hi everyone. I'm John Retlin. This is my review of AEW Dark, and we have 10 matches to talk about. Well, by we, I mean me. I know I complained about some episodes of Dark, like in recent weeks, having only 2 or 3 matches, and therefore I had to take 2 episodes and Human Centipede them together and talk about them there. But now we're going a bit too far in the opposite direction. They could probably cap it off at 7 or 8, even if they're squash matches. And it's great that they're featuring local talents and some independent talents and giving them more of a platform. That is great, but honestly, yeah, you might want to cap it at just about 8 matches. So, who can stop the Path of Cage? Yes, we get it. Who can stop the Path of Rage? It's a play on what Taz used to have said about him in ECW. So Taz then says in a very stoic way that he will not talk about Brian Cage. Was he replaced by a robot? That is the question that I think really needs to be answered, because Taz actually has some personality, but boy, he sounded stoic here. Alex Reynolds and John Silver, Long John Silver of the Dark Order, the Gimp Order, oh boy, terrific. We start off with the Gimp Order against Dustin and QT Marshall with Brandy. She's going to get on the show one way or another. Why are they trying to make the Gimp Order happen? Please stop it. Please fucking stop it. Allie shows up biting QT's apple. That is not a euphemism, but it was implied to be a euphemism. It is great to see Allie back on TV. Well, or on YouTube. It's great to see her back on AEW programming. And then we have a Dustin Destroyer and a cutter from QT for 3. Allie being on AEW programming once again is very nice, and I don't know what they're doing. Have they dropped the whole Butcher, Blade, and Bunny thing? Are they just having her be Allie and just being this kind of seductress that is going to get in QT's head and make him turn on Dustin? I have no goddamn idea, but this is probably the most interesting thing that Allie has done in a number of months. To be fair, she hasn't really been featured on TV in a number of months, but you know what? Hey, it's good to see her back on there. So we then get Michael Naka. Okay, no, you know what? Fuck the stupid gimmick. I fucking hate it. He takes on Brandon Cutler. I hate the oil shit. I absolutely hate it. We get a chop fest. Cool. Unfortunately, after Cutler is bleeding, and hopefully he's okay, because he was even taking care of his cut when he got on commentary, we have a ramp elbow, and then we get a count-out victory for Michael Nakazawa. So Nakazawa beats Brandon Cutler, and then Avalon shows up mocking Cutler because he hasn't won a match. But Avalon hasn't won a match. They are going to get in a pissing contest to see who can win their first match in AEW. That is the storyline we are going with here. Whew. Boy, this is what they're doing. These two are capable wrestlers. I mean, they definitely are resident jobbers, but I just don't know what the fuck they're doing here. But it is what it is. So Brandon Cutler joins commentary. Actually has some pretty good stuff. It seems like they're maybe turning Brandon heel, which, to be honest, it would be something different. And at least it'd be something cool for him. So Peter Avalon with Leva Bates versus Jungle Boy with Luchasaurus and the little twerp. And you know what? I like Jungle Boy. Peter Avalon's a fine wrestler, but when you put Stunt out there and involve him in any way, shape, or form, I just can't fucking stand it. I just can't. He just should not be on that side of the guardrail. He should be on the opposite side of the guardrail with the fans. He can live his dream if he wants, but I just don't buy it, and I fucking hate it. Anyway, there was cool Spike DDT. There was a tease of Leva using her book, and then Leva gets put on Luchasaurus' shoulders. Lucha shoulders. Well, that was a fucking terrible joke. I'm sorry. Marco kisses her. I'm sorry for Leva. And then there was this weird Indian Deathlock STF maneuver that Jungle Boy did, and hey, got the victory. Cool. All right. Nice submission. That was some good stuff. Jungle Boy has definitely improved, and Avalon looked pretty good in this as well. And then we get Christopher Daniels versus Sir Pentaco. He was the guy that had the streamers that popped out of his mouth. He did the cool thing and everything. Kind of reminded me of Blitzkrieg. This wasn't that bad. The match was decent. It was short. So there was some good wrestling. There was a cool over-the-rope stomp by Sir Pentaco, but the BME 1, 2, 3. So, of course, Daniels won. Naturally, he was going to win. And that's good. That's exactly what should have happened. And Daniels showed a little more intensity. So we then get Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela versus Brady Pierce and John Skyler. So, okay, Sonny Kiss. Can they feature him on more than just Dark? Like, seriously, I mean, I'm not saying the guy's ever going to be a world champion, but they touted him as being a big sign that they had. He's a big signee. He's this great talent and everything. He's an openly gay athlete. And he's somebody that could be an inspiration to people regardless of his sexuality. he could be somebody they could feature. He's really athletic, and he was doing some good shit, showing some good intensity. And then Janela got in and fucked it all up, because Joey Janela is one of the worst wrestlers that I have seen in modern wrestling. I mean, my God, he's fucking rotten. He's just fucking rotten. And I've seen him live twice at indie shows, and he's fucking rotten there as well. So we get the kiss my sass thing. That's where Sonny does, the ass into the face, which is actually a pretty funny thing there. And an elbow drop from Joey Janela pins Skylar. I think Skylar got pinned, but anyway, it was what it was. Then Tony Donati and Fabu Andre. And if you get that whole Fabu reference, I love you guys for it. They took on Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc with Penelope Ford. Basically, they need to give Havoc and Sabian a tag title run at some point, or at least a shot. Have them, have the best friends win, have them hold it for a bit, and then have Havoc and Sabian beat them. That would be nice to see. So Fabu just gets beat up for a while, and then Donati gets him with a nice arm trap suplex. And then we get a Sabian diving stomp, and then a drop kick into the nail in the coffin, Michinoku driver, whatever you want to call it, and 1, 2, 3. So that's the end of that. We then get who's labeled as Mr. Grimm, but actually is just Grimm, not of Grimm Fairy Tales. But boy, this was a grim match versus Wardlow with MJF. Wardlow has an awful theme. MJF is checking his phone, and it was a nice power battle and everything. That Grimm guy is pretty big and pretty imposing, and maybe they could use him more in the long run, but yeah, Wardlow wins with, I think he was supposed to do like a knee to the face, but he kind of just hit the guy in the gut, or at least a weird camera angle showed that. So he basically knocked the guy out, and then that was it. The referee called it, and then hits the F10 afterwards. So then we get Lee Johnson versus Colt Cabana. We get some nice wrestling, a heavy chop to Lee, and then Colt ends up beating him with the Billy Goat's curse. I'm rushing through these matches because there isn't all that much. Penelope Ford with Kip Sabian versus Kylan King. I hope I pronounced that right. I like her look. She's nice, tall, statuesque. She's only been in wrestling for a couple years, apparently. But you know what? She's got some good size. At least to put the women in something. And Penelope got to be featured twice. So always a good thing right there. There was a nice delayed vertical suplex by Kylan. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing her name. I really am. There was a one point where Penelope decided to, drape her legs over, scissoring her on the ropes, and then kisses Kip Sabian. We get some choking in the corner, and even though there was a nice drop kick off the ropes by King, eventually Penelope does hit the springboard elbow, and then the springboard into the cutter, and 1, 2, 3. So King has a good look, like to see her featured more, and Penelope has been getting a whole lot better. Take a look at how she was at this one NWA event in 2018, she has vastly improved just since then. Everybody's got to start somewhere, and she really has improved. I'm not saying she's like Mildred Burke in the goddamn ring, but she is somebody that is definitely improving and will be even better next year and in the coming years. And then we get best friends with, Orange Cassidy, woohoo, versus Alan Angels and Sean Dean, Captain Sean Dean. Chuck Taylor is really not all that good, and hey, it was nice, series of exchanges. Trent and Chuck Taylor obviously were going to win this. Sean and Alan got in a little bit of offense. Alan seems like the kind of guy that they're trying to push a little bit. And they hit the strong 0 for 3, the best friends do, and that's it. So that's it for 10 matches. That's how quickly I covered those, because they were pretty much all squash matches. Not that bad. Maybe, again, cap it off at 7 or 8 and just call it there. And yeah, it's great that they're featuring some indie talents, but maybe they can, figure out a better format. But you know what? It wasn't bad. And beggars can't be choosers. At least they did some good on this one, despite some of the idiotic stuff that I thought that there was. But anyway, agree, disagree, what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.